Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 204. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz. The New York Knicks defeat the Washington Wizards. Back-to-back wins for New York. They get the job done 113-109, led by Jalen Brunson. Finishes with 41 and carries the Knicks primarily there in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, for the Nets, they begin their West Coast trip out in Portland. They lose a heartbreaker again. This coming off a heartbreaking loss versus Miami, which is becoming a theme for the Nets. In games, close, lose them at the end, and the Nets now struggling tremendously. They are the 11th seed and would be out of the play-in after starting 13-10. They are 3-14, which is miserable. Alex, bad times to be a Net fan, good times to be a Knicks fan-ish. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. A little tired, but you know we're getting by. Knicks are winning. Gave the Wizards too many chances at the end. They did everything possible to hand the game away, and if they're playing a good team, they probably do lose. But you know what? A win's a win. A win is a win, if that makes sense. You know, they all count the same at the end of the year. Thanks. And they all count the same at the end of the year, and that's it. And you got to just keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? And with the Nets, it's like, you know, it's weird because you can't rebuild because you don't have your picks. Like, you know, traditionally rebuild because you don't have your picks. But, you know, and then you have the Dejounte Murray rumors with the Nets, which seem kind of real. And, you know, and then you have the albatross of Ben Simmons sitting there who they should just stretch provision already. And it's just, you're stuck in no man's land. So you're going to get Dejounte Murray and then you're going to have Bridges. And then it's just like, what are you going to do with Ben Simmons? You're just going to let him waste your time again? Like, just get him out.
Ben Simmons is not even worth bringing up on this podcast.
But he is. From his contract, he is, you know, because he's getting paid. What, he's got another year after this,
but
right?
what's the point of stretching him out when he's a year and a half out and next year he's an expiring contract?
Because no one's going to trade for it's not an expiring contract like Fournier. It was like $20 million. It's like,
but the point of it is there's no point to just sit there and spend all this money to stretch him out and spend, you know, 20 years of money to be spent. It's one more year. They need him to play, Alex.
He's not going to play though.
They need him to play. Like, you know, I can sit here and be. I'm not saying he's any good, but the Nets need him. The Nets need point guard play. So he's close to returning. And as much as it's an embarrassment, and you can make fun of me for it, but the Nets need him to play. The Nets need a point guard.
I'm not making fun of you for it.
No, the Nets need a point guard. I don't think it doesn't make sense to stretch him out and spend 10 years of money when we're 1.5 years away from him never being here again. And they actually need his production this year. What does it matter if they stretch out that money and cut him? He's not going to another team. He loves it here because he's on vacation. They need him. They need him to play. My prediction is going to come right, by the way. When I said he's going to be out, he's going to come back for a week, and then he's going to be gone again. Like, it's coming true. You can see it, and he's going to return versus the Knicks. It's going to happen.
You need him to play, but he's not going to play. Like, he's going to play a couple games here and there just to keep his contract going, and then he could fake a back injury again.
Yeah, I know, but
play.
I understand.
He's just wasting money. You should have done it last year. You should have stretched him last year and then had the money.
It's so close to him being gone. There's no point of stretching it out and keeping him there. I honestly mean this. I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons because he's so irrelevant to the franchise.
But he's not, because his contract is so much money of their cap. How much of their cap is Ben Simmons?
I get you, but it's just old news now. Like, yeah, it's a disaster.
You're tired of talking about it. I get it, but it's just at the same time.
I'm not tired of talking about it. It still matters. It's irrelevant. It's over.
Not though. Right,
it is.
Whatever.
It's over. It's irrelevant.
We can disagree.
He's not part of the franchise. They need him to play. You know, you and I are going to disagree on if they should stretch him out and do Bobby Bonilla tactics. No, you just let him play for this half season or not play, and then next year, yes, is an expiring contract, and that works then in your advantage. That works.
But he's not a valuable expiring contract because it's so much money. You know what I mean? It's not the usual expiring like Fournier, like I'm saying. Like, and the Knicks can't even unload him. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it's
yeah,
just
but
like,
also then next year,
yeah,
if you want to cut him, the repercussions are different. At this point, what's the benefit in cutting somebody that's just you're gonna if you cut him, you're gonna spend more money throughout a long term, or you can just sit here and have it for one more year and it's over. What's
because
the
you
point of extending it?
you save money next year if you want to make your team good now. If you're not going to if you're deciding to rebuild and you're going to trade everybody, even Bridges, then fine, don't stretch him. Just let him go after
But
next
you're
year.
not. They're not trading Bridges
But
as
if
they
no,
shouldn't.
but I'm just giving you an example. If you're going to if you don't trade Bridges and you want to rebuild, right, with Bridges and build a team around him, just you don't do it, right? But if you're trying to like not fake compete, but like retool and get Dejounte Murray, then get Simmons out of here and just get the money that you can get next year and put players around Simmons and Murray. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. No, I disagree. You just have to eat the contract and let it ride, end
All
it,
right,
and just
we'll
end it.
disagree.
I'm not gonna in 2031 and there's money here. Just
It's not that
let it
long.
ride.
The
Let it
Knicks did
ride.
it with
It's
Joakim
over.
Noah, and it sucked the first year. Everybody made fun of it, but then after a while, you're like, well, we could sign all these other guys, so that's kind of nice, and they became pretty good.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, the least of the net problems isn't that, and I know you're
The coach not
saying
knowing how to coach.
I know you're
That's
saying
really
it is
it.
a problem, but it is. But I'm saying the Nets have bigger problems than Ben Simmons and him
Bigger
wasting.
problems now. Like I'm talking on like a macro level. You're more focused like right now on the micro level, like
Well, I mean,
today,
the
like
team
in
is
the
a
game.
disaster. They don't win
Yeah,
games. The coach has made some terrible
right.
decisions. The team, Cam Johnson's been bad. People are always like, well, is like Cam Thomas conversation, which is so much fun for Net fans. Should he be playing more? They need him to score offensively. Yes, I agree with that point of it. Cam Thomas, is he a defensive liability? Should he be there in late games? No, he shouldn't. This is why this team sucks. You're both right. Everybody
Yeah.
that's on the Cam Thomas side, he should play or he shouldn't play. You're both right. That's why this team is a disaster. This team is a fucking nightmare to watch this day in and day out. I don't think they should trade Mikal Bridges.
No.
Mikal is a very good player, and he will be somewhere that
He's
will help
young
you win a
still.
championship.
Yeah.
And he is a two-way player that is somewhere that can help you win a title. He's not the number one guy. He's not the number two guy. He's the number three guy. And for me, why trade him unless you could get an overhaul of assets back that's just unbelievable? Why
Right.
trade a piece that you could use in the future? The Nets have decisions to make. Do you take in Murray and just get better? They'd be better. They'd definitely be a lot better because they'd have a point guard. And then just get tossed early, or do you rebuild this? I'd definitely be excited if they got Murray because at least I'd watch the games and have something to root for. But at the same time, my viewpoint of the Nets at this point is you don't have your picks. True. Tough shit. Got to get through it. You trade the expiring contracts of guys like Royce O'Neal, Spencer Dinwiddie's of the world, get picks back, and then you start to play younger players. You see Noah Clowney put up 27 points and have these insane dunks. And I understand it's the G League and he's not going to do that when he gets here. But if you're going to be dog shit in the regular season and lose every fucking game you play, at least let us see guys that you got in the Kevin Durant trade back on the court. And at least for a Net fan, you have some excitement there. Win or lose, you get to see that. You don't even have that. This Nets team right now, Alex, is the worst it's been for me since we've done this show. It's not even close. And it's depressing. I want to give a shout out to Anthony Puccio. He did a really good article about the Nets and basically saying, what direction are you going in? And I think that's where Net fans are frustrated. You might disagree or agree with Murray. You might agree or disagree with blowing it up, but you don't fucking know what they're doing. They're in the middle, and you're in the it's like you're in the middle and you're not winning. It's the worst, Alex.
Look all my
It's the
teams.
worst.
The Jets, the Mets, the Knicks. It's just like,
Bad, man.
what are we doing?
Bad.
And whatever. But
Now I'm
no,
jealous.
I hear
Your
you.
your team at least has
They're winning.
they're
Yeah.
winning games.
The East is
it-
so tight, though. It's
well, the
just
East
so
is
tight.
loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this last thing and I'll shut up.
You don't have to shut up.
It's pretty obvious. There's one thing that's pretty obvious with the Knicks. If Jalen Brunson plays, they can win. If he doesn't, they are fucked.
Facts.
End of story. Like,
Facts.
sorry.
It's just That's analysis right there. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And they can't really compete at all without him. And it just showed that without Brunson for a couple of games and Randall went back to the old Randall. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, oh, he's not fixed. And even tonight versus the Wizards or yesterday, whenever you're listening to this, at the end of the game, I don't remember, there was like 40 seconds left or 30 something seconds left, and he fell
43.
asleep. And yeah, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's walking up the court like they're up 4 points, and he just like falls asleep, and Poole steals it, and they call foul on Poole, and then they review it, and it was clean, and it was actually foul on Randall, and he got 2 free throws. And it's just like they almost blew the game. You know what I mean? It's just like
It got close.
you get that ball across the timeline, and the game is over. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing? Wake up, man. And it's also hilarious to me how, after this trade with the Pascal Siakam trade to Indy, all of a sudden every big beat reporter for the Knicks now starts mentioning Nets' old friend Bruce Brown. Steve Popper, 223, 117, like right after the trade. As long as the Knicks and Raptors are on a friendly trade terms, Bruce Brown is a player they were interested in during the summer. Stephen Bondi, 3:14 p.m. on 117. Bruce Brown told me recently about his meeting with New York. Tibbs has always been a fan of mine, even coming out of the draft when he was with Minnesota. Per source, Knicks' top 2023 free agent targets were Strus, then Brown, and then DiVincenzo. Fred Katz. This is at 2:27 p.m. For what it's worth, Raptors are allowed to flip Brown before the trade deadline. They just can't aggregate him with other players. Knicks expressed interest in Brown during free agency. He's a CAA client as well, under contract for $22 million this season with a $23 million team option in 24-25. Now, we're only missing one more out of the top four Knicks beat writers, and it was Ian Begley. And then he jumped in today. A few notes on the Knicks in the trade deadline, including internal interest from the Knicks in trading for Toronto's Bruce Brown. And then he had another video on SNY. So Knicks reporters are trying to tell you, I think, that Bruce Brown is probably the trade target for the Knicks coming up soon before the trade deadline, which makes absolutely no sense. We were texting about this a couple days ago. It's just I don't get it. It's a redundant piece, and you want to dump Grimes and Fournier. You got to get rid of, and it's just like, what? Like, okay, we got Bruce Brown. Like, okay, you're not promising me all these rumors about Brogdon and maybe Murray or maybe Mitchell, but why would the Cavs trade him when et cetera, et cetera. But you're going to end up with Bruce Brown, and it's just like, all right, you got OG, but you traded two guys for OG because Precious Achiuwa is not very good, and Malachi Flynn is not going to play. And even though he's kind of good, because Deuce McBride earned his spot and he deserves to play, so it's just, you did a 2-for-1 deal basically, and you're winning, and that's fine. But what are we doing here? Like you said,
yeah,
it's strange.
Well, I look at the Knicks in the playoffs, and I wouldn't even think about like regular season minutes, because you go in the playoffs, who's gonna get run.
Right.
OG Anunoby is playing so many fucking minutes. I mean, he played tonight 42 minutes. He's playing
yesterday 40 something too.
So,
right?
So clearly Tibbs loves him. Okay. Yeah. He's playing that many minutes. If that's what he's playing in the regular season, what is he going to play in the playoffs? So where are the minutes going to come from? Another small forward like Bruce Brown, and it just constructually, it doesn't. I mean, adding depth and having him there, I think, is not a bad thing. He's a very good player. I love Bruce Brown, but I don't think for the Knicks in what they need, he makes much sense because of what they have. To me, the Knicks need more size at the center position as a backup, because you don't know what's going to go on with Mitchell Robinson, and Hardenstein's played well, but to me, you need some backup at the center position, and then you need a ball handler where Brogdon makes a little bit more sense to me from where the Knicks are constructually. But to add another guy he's not gonna, to me, if they trade for him, Josh Hart's not playing. Where are the minutes?
Right.
Then Josh Hart's done. I mean,
you already had to trade
answer.
quickly because he couldn't play.
So then Josh Hart's not going to play,
and Grimes isn't playing.
Minutes left.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's just you got to add another person.
That kind of contract.
Yeah,
that's what I'm just saying. Like the Knicks, to me, go for the home run, go for the Donovan Mitchell, or bring in a guard,
or at least Brogdon is a level above DiVincenzo, where you can play him above DiVincenzo and have Devo come off the bench, something like that.
Yeah, no, Brogdon's a
That
good
makes
point guard.
sense. Bruce Brown is like another average player that you're just adding to the mix of like, what are we doing? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
And then
odd, strange,
you might as well just
strange.
keep Grimes, but you want to trade him so badly all of a sudden when you didn't want to deal him for Donovan Mitchell 2 years ago. It doesn't make any sense what's happening here.
Yeah, hey,
I
but
don't get it.
the Knicks keep winning basketball games, and their schedule's soft. I mean, their schedule is so
Yeah,
soft coming up. Like I look at the Nets schedule; they're not going to win a game for a month. I mean, they're not going to win forever. Knicks got wins all over the place.
yeah. Well, they
And
got the Raptors coming to town on Saturday. The
yeah,
reunion of
they'll beat
RJ
them.
and Quickly coming home.
RJ's played well.
Yeah, and
Good fresh
Quickly
start for
too.
him.
Yeah, I'm happy for both of them. There's nothing to boo. They'll get a standing ovation. There's only these idiots on Twitter or social media like that just want to shamelessly self promote themselves, or they just want to be overly homers for the Knicks and they'll just trash them. They're not going to get booed. You know what I mean? They won a lot of games here, won a lot of playoff games here, played really well, had a lot of big moments, homegrown guys. They're going to get standing ovations. They should get video tributes, and it's going to be very, very teary-eyed in the beginning, but once the ball goes up and
Of course.
opening tip and let's go.
Can I?
But they, give them a standing ovation, guys.
Can I ask you a question? Why
Yeah.
is because everybody the way they talk and everybody the way they talk about Donovan Mitchell is he's not on the Cavs anymore. But nobody talks about what he's doing in Cleveland. It's all just like he's gone. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They've lost Mobley and Garland. They just beat the Bucks by 40. Why is nobody talking about how well he's actually playing? And I'm sick to my stomach when I see people say, you can't put Brunson and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt. That's not a winning combo. The defense. I mean, I would be scared out of my mind about the Knicks title chances if they did something like that. I mean, I don't comprehend, one, that automatically he's traded, and two, give credit to the Cavs, because unlike the Nets, who fold in every big moment, this guy's a fucking star and wins in big spots. He's having an incredible season. Now, their wins were against dog shit opponents, the Wizards twice, the Spurs, the Nets, the Bulls, and the good win versus the Bucks. But they are beating the shit out of these teams, and they are doing it with their second and third best player gone. Look at the Knicks. I mean, if you were to lose, if the Knicks lost Randall and Anunoby, or I don't know. I mean, the Nets, whatever, doesn't matter because they don't have a second or third best player. I mean, it blows my mind how just everybody's like, he's gone. He's not going to resign here. The writing's on the wall because Brian Windhorst said it 7 times. Meanwhile, they don't lose.
Yeah, they don't, and they're right there in the thick of things. But you know what it is? It's the great spin of the century was Knicks reporters or Knicks television people on MSG or just fans in general spinning it that Donovan Mitchell stinks. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't need him anyway. He wasn't worth all of that. We didn't want to give away all those young guys and the picks, and now you're stuck with picks you can't even use because you don't have the roster space or the cap space to use them, and you traded all those guys anyway. And Grimes are going to kick to the curb as well soon. So it's just like, why didn't you go in for that guy? And then you could have gotten OG Anunoby anyway, somehow. It's not like he was that valuable. You traded him for RJ and Quickly. They're both good players, but like, OG is not Donovan Mitchell. He's not even Malcolm. He's okay. He's good. He fills a role, but it's not like he's unattainable. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, where it's just like, when did he become this superstar? Why is he so coveted? Like, he's really good and the Knicks are winning, but again, like you said, it's a soft schedule recently, so you can't really judge it yet. And it's great. They're winning. I'm happy. Just keep on winning, and nothing else matters. That's what I keep saying, and it's true. Beat the bad teams. Don't apologize for it. You can only play who's on your schedule. At the end of the season, all the wins count the same. Yes, but also, if you had Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell and OG Anunoby and even Julius Randle, plus Hartenstein is playing out of his mind, you know what I mean? Like, you got something there, and then you fill in the blanks with the other Villanova guys, and you're rolling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It just makes no sense.
They're still one star away. They are. Mitchell,
right? But who is that guy? Yeah, now it's just like,
28.2 points per game, 5.8 assists, 5.4 rebounds. He's having an MVP kind of season. He's been that good. He's
Yeah,
been that good for Cleveland. With all those guys injured, um, you know, Leon Rose has had to be one of the strangest 10 years in New York GMs I can, or whatever you want to call him, I can remember, because
presidents. Yeah,
he's done a really good job. I mean, you can't disagree with that. The Knicks were bad, bad.
yeah.
And
No,
now,
but he was, he has improved the team that he has. But you know what? Two major pieces that helped the Knicks
right.
win was Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, and they were already on the team when he got there.
And Jalen
Number one.
fell in his lap.
Jalen, he knew what Jalen Brunson was coming. That's the other thing he did. He did a lot of weird things leading up to that because he knew he was coming. He's his fucking nephew. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And just so that was happening. But also he was handed, besides that, he was handed a clean deck. No Knicks GM or president, whatever you want to call it, over the last 25 years has been handed the deck that Leon Rose was handed. Multiple picks, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and tons of salary cap space. You know what I mean? He had an open canvas. And
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson also. And like he had a canvas. Like I'm just all he had to do was just add talent. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even, and they added he added a coach that can win, and they overachieved that first year, and he bought himself a lot of years. And it's just Phil Jackson, for all his flaws, he was there for 4 off seasons. 2 of those off seasons, they didn't have any draft picks because of other trades from before he was there. Same thing happened to the other GMs before him. It's because of Isaiah Thomas and Layden and those guys. And it's just like it's been one mistake after another. So like Leon Rose has done a good job, but again, it's not like he took over this big mess like Donnie Walsh when he walked in the door. It's not like that.
Oh.
So just making it clear there for people.
And that's what makes this Sean Marks era so odd, because when he came in 2016, it was bad. I mean, he cleaned it up and did as
Not
good
his fault
of a
either.
job.
Yeah.
He did
was
as
more
good of a
Donnie
job.
Walsh for a Knicks perspective. Yeah.
He did as good of a job as a GM could do. Comes in
Right.
with no draft picks, no talent.
Took on
And then-
contracts.
And then all of a sudden he has 3 of the best players in the history of the game in their prime together. And if injuries and whatever
off the court
happen,
nonsense will
the one season. I mean, the Nets are winning a title, but it did so. But now, what's your direction you're going in? So to your Knicks, it's like you have these questions and these little things like, oh, is Bruce Brown worth it? Or are they going to get the star? The Nets, you don't know now what is happening. And unlike Knick fans who don't care if their team speaks to the media because they
well, I care.
Traumatized.
Yeah. That's the other spin. Yeah.
They're traumatized by them being mean to them. Although that doesn't make any sense to me, because people always tell me that New York's a tough city, but all of a sudden you're now scared of, a middle-aged man in his 50s. Like, what? I don't know. Okay. I actually want to
Fred
hear.
Cat's gonna do to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get it.
I actually want to hear from my president. I want to hear from my GM. What the hell is happening? We are tail spinning. What is the direction? And they are hiding, scared. Come on.
They're going to wait for the deadline.
We need to figure
at this point, I don't blame them. I said this on a recent episode about the Knicks. You don't want to talk now. I can almost wrap my head around it. Just after the deadline, you got to talk. And for the Nets, same thing.
They will, but they'll do that.
Yeah. When the dust settles and you decide which direction you're going, then come out and tell us what's going on. As a fan, as a Nets fan, you deserve that.
I mean, the Nets, nobody's watching these games. It's been a mess. 37,000 people in the one game, which is going to give, people that hate the Nets erections, Knick fans walking around with their dick straight up in the air because they're so excited to hear about it because of how bad things have been. It's a combination of you lost stars and you're a disaster of a team right now. So no one's watching, which makes sense. And it's frustrating. And I think, Alex, for me, I really mean this. And I think this might be true for Net fans too. I don't know. Is that I think we took for granted, even though it sucked, what we had with these guys, that now we're just like, yeah, just figure it out, Sean Marks, make it better. It's so difficult to do. And I think reality setting in of how much of a blown opportunity it was, right? to have that kind of star power and do nothing. Now that you have a ship that's sinking and a team with no foundation and no future, and you're just kind of like, do it again, do it again. And you realize that you probably just witnessed your only chance in the next 30 years of possibly seeing your franchise win is so depressing. And I think now more than ever, more than when the Nets dealt Kyrie, when they dealt Harden, when they dealt Durant, it's finally sinking in that the Nets are the net. It's over. Like it's really over, and we're just back to nothingness. And it's a hard pill to swallow, and it's depressing, and it sucks, and it's the new reality that I'm witnessing with my franchise.
You know, when all this blew up and they had to trade everybody, we all said, and everybody said, Sean Marks is the right guy for the job. He did this once before, he can do it again. But looking back, I think it might be best if they just cleaned house and
I agree.
started completely over at this
Yeah, I
point.
agree. It's over.
Fresh
Just
voice, something new in here. You're not going to be
been eight
able to do the
years.
same thing. I don't know. Yeah,
It's been eight
it's
years, and it's just
it's a long time.
yeah, it's just
And
time.
the big three didn't work out. It wasn't Sean Marks' fault that it didn't work out. I mean, it really
I
wasn't.
agree.
It's not fair. It
No,
really isn't. But you know what? Life isn't fair, and
of
you've
course.
been there for 8 years, like you said. You have zero conference finals appearances. It's you took over a terrible situation and you added in a lot of really good players for to take on took good players on big contracts to take on first round picks that turned into like the Jared Allens and the players that the culture nets. You know what I'm saying? And you know the story better than me. So it's just like he did a good job, but like doing that now is kind of hard, especially with the Ben Simmons albatross there. And you have also, you know, Mikal Bridges sitting there. You don't have like Isaiah Whitehead. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not like
Well,
rolling
that's
out guys you don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Like these are
yeah, it's a
guys
good
that
point.
got to play, and they're going to want to get out of here. And he's probably pissed off already at Jacques Vaughn for benching him that one game. And it's just
Well,
like, what are we doing?
like
So it's just
yeah,
you
to
might have to just hit the reset button completely, or you double down and you go get Dejounte Murray, and then you
make this
just like
podcast more interesting.
yeah.
So she's talking
No, please
Nets.
listen.
No, I mean to Dolan J. Trump's credit, and we'll do his
Oh, we got to do his thing here.
trivia. Um,
I want to talk a little football before that, but yeah, go ahead.
uh, to his credit, he's right. Like Sean Marks and Jacques Vaughn did that together. In looking back on it now, too, and I said it during the time, but now even more. What a stupid fucking move to have the audacity to have your largest crowd of the season. And the Nets have drawn well. We'll see how they do moving forward. But the Nets draw well, right? I know the ticket prices are lower. Oh my God. But people
Ratings
are coming.
down. Ratings are down. Trust me.
To have people come in and treat that game like they have Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, and it's just like whatever in the regular season. What was the point? And what makes it even more frustrating is in that game, Noah Clowney played well, had a good game, showed flashes that make you excited when your rookie does well, right? To do that on a one-time basis because we're just going to lose this game to the Bucks, but then never play these guys again and just have the balls to be like, we're gonna tank at our home versus the Bucks in a game that we can win, and we're in it late. I mean, just so unbelievably stupid. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh man!
Shout out to
what a
Corey who
mess.
listens to the podcast. He
Yeah.
likes that I'm going more dark on these things and getting like angry. I
Well,
mean,
we had our first argument in a while too. That was pretty.
well,
Cool.
I don't. They got to keep him. They need him. They need him to play.
But they're not going to have him. That's the point. He's not going. It's over, dude. It's
Of course, it's
it's
over.
Not, he's
the
not
Nets
going
are
to play.
so bad, Alex. They need him on the court.
But he's not going to play. Like it's just irrelevant.
They need him. They need to try. I need to bring in somebody that's like we need like Bobby Marks to join us and just explain why the stretch provision when there's only 18 months left in this goddamn contract is a bad decision. It's because just because over at Knick land, all you do is stretch out contracts. You're paying Joakim Noah till 2086. Doesn't mean we have to do
He's
the
off
same
the
thing here.
books.
He's on the put him back on the goddamn books.
But listen, if you have what does Ben Simmons get paid next year? $40 million.
702 million.
Let's say $40 million. So if you do
I don't want to. I just stop. I just don't want to. I don't want
if
to
you
even
do
bring him up.
$6 million a year for like 7 years,
But who are
you
you
can get rid of.
signing?
I don't know, but you're freeing up like
It's
$35
but
million
Alex, it's
dollars,
but Alex, it's 1 year, not 4.
and then $6 million in the next 5, 6, 7 years means nothing.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
Alex,
Like,
it's 1 year, not 4 or 5. That's where I'll disagree with you. Now, if he was under contract for multiple seasons,
well, I said last year to do it for
yeah,
2 years.
that's 2 years. But now but the argument every second, like 30 minutes ago when we started this podcast, your argument was better. But now that it's 30 minutes into the future, every second that passes, your argument weakens because Ben Simmons is
Getting
one
closer
step
to
closer to leaving. So
Oh,
eventually
that's
it
funny.
won't matter. And but
It's
I'm
like
tongue
when
in
you
cheek
drive a new
here,
car off the lot, it's automatically a used car. The
which is
second you
which
drive off the
is so true
lot.
too, it's funny you say that because I always compare this to NBA draft picks.
Yes,
NBA
yeah, I know what you're
draft
saying. Yeah.
picks, the second they get off of the lot and you actually drafted the player, there's no value.
Right.
Like when I was like, oh, you got 3 picks, that's amazing. You got Noah Clowney, he's in the G League. No one even watches. But if it was that, but if I said, oh, you get the 21st pick, oh wow, the
Oh
21st
wow.
pick.
Yeah. Well, it
Fucking
could be quickly.
crazy.
It could be Grimes. It could be you never know. Oh man. But anyway,
You
before we
want
get
to
to
talk some
Dolan's
football?
trivia, yeah, I just was curious because all that everybody talks about today is Mike McCarthy
Yeah,
staying on for 1 year. It's weird because he's on the last year of his deal, and usually the rule in all sports for some reason is you don't let a coach finish his contract because he as a lame duck coach, he can't get the locker room. But in this situation, at first he's got to be fired, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's like I can kind of get it because you can get out of Dak Prescott's contract after next year, and you can just literally just reset everything after next year. But the Cowboys are going into next season with the same team. Like they're gonna
yeah,
draft some players, they're gonna make some upgrades or
of
whatever.
course.
But like it's gonna be just like the Knicks were earlier this season. It's just like, all right, whatever. We're sleepwalking. Get us to the playoffs. Let's see what happens. It's just
Yeah,
that's a lot of pressure. That's putting more pressure on the quarterback by doing that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I see the other side where it's like, do you really want to blow it up again? And then you're gonna have to blow it up again, and everybody's on an uneven schedule. It's just, I don't know. I'm just curious what you think.
I mean, if Bill Belichick's walking in the door, I think
Yeah.
that switch you make in a
Right.
heartbeat.
The best coach of all time. Yes, of course. Right.
Right. I know people will say like, well, he didn't win any Super Bowls without Tom Brady. Like,
Ugh.
well, who wins without their superstar quarterback?
Right.
Nobody. Which NBA coach wins without a superstar player? Steve Kerr looks a little different when his best players are hurt. Okay. Obviously, that makes a difference. The guy's won 6 fucking Super Bowls. If he's running in the door, I say make the switch, deal with it. Now,
Right.
I don't personally think Mike McCarthy should go. This team's won 12 games 3 straight times and is in position every year to compete for a Super Bowl. Football very different than basketball in a lot of ways, where football you get there, anything can happen. Look at the '07 Giants. Look at the 2011 Giants. Sneak into the playoffs, go ahead, win a Super Bowl. Now I understand the critics that say, well, every year it's the same thing. I don't know who you're bringing in that's going to switch that and make that different. To me, if you're in the position where you can go for it, you just got to roll the dice each year and hope that something happens. And you can't just cut Dak Prescott or move on. There's nobody better. I mean,
Right.
he's had terrible regular seasons, but he's always there. He's provided himself to put him. He's going to lead the league into MVP candidate in the NFC. He's a great quarterback that fails in big spots. You just can't cut him and then be like, well, who's your quarterback? Nobody. You're kind
Right.
of stuck.
Nobody comparable.
And I mean that in like a good way. If you're a Cowboy fan, you go, okay, this sucks. We just saw that our team lost again in a big spot, but you're going to be back. You're going to be 11-6, 13-4, and in the same position next year and hope for the best. And as a fan, I think that's all you can ask for. Not everybody has Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody has Tom Brady. You've got a guy that's in the top 33%. You got to hope for something better next year. You can't. if you blow it up, you're asking yourself to go 2, 3, 4 years down the line. You have a team that can compete. Keep it.
Yeah, and Jerry Jones is getting old. But the Cowboys get a better running back and get another wide receiver in there. You can, upgrade some different spots and you never know. And I don't know. It's weird because there's so many coaches out there, and that's the funny part, with Vrabel and Belichick, and Belichick looks like he's going to go to the Falcons. It'll probably be announced in the morning once we hit
so?
post. He's got a second interview with the Falcons.
Well, that's
It's just
the
like
Kirk Cousins connection. He's at a
Kirk Cousins.
CBS Sports, like playing for Belichick or playing for the Falcons. So maybe that leads him there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if that's what Belichick wants, I mean,
It's just
I
such
don't
a
know.
weird visual for me to think of Bill Belichick. First of all, because Bill Belichick always has to be in a sleeveless hoodie in the cold weather. I can't imagine him in a
In the
dome.
dome.
I don't feel right about that. That doesn't. We
I
always
thought the
talk about
Bears would be perfect. If the Bears got rid of their coach, I
yes,
thought that was the
but they
perfect
didn't.
spot for him, but they didn't. So it's just whatever.
You know how you think about like Jordan in a Wizards jersey,
Yeah.
Ewing in a Magic Sonics jersey, right?
Ugh.
Yeah, all of these different jerseys.
Jason Kidd in a Knicks jersey. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just gross. But just
Kenyon Martin in a
Belichick,
Knicks jersey. Yeah. No,
Belichick
yeah.
in like a not that he's wearing a jersey, but Belichick in a
A hoodie.
sleeveless Falcons sweatshirt seems bizarre.
Maybe we'll see some different attire from him. Maybe we'll start wearing like sleeveless shirts and like come out in like a tank
No.
top or something and be
No.
like, "Hey, I'm inside now. I don't need to wear a hoodie." So
No, not happening, man.
Falcons are a good spot for him though. They got a lot of first round
It's
picks on that
weird.
team. Like that are in their prime and look, need the right guidance. And they had a terrible quarterback.
They need a
Ritter, and
quarterback.
it's
He's not
just,
going there if
so
Ritter's the quarterback. If Ritt, there's no way
yeah,
Bill
imagine,
Belichick's going after seeing all the shit quarterback play that he's had in New England since
like Desmond Ritter is my guy.
since Brady's left and
Yeah.
everything that he's had to deal with the revolving doors of quarterbacks that have just been terrible.
Cam Newton, remember?
Oh, yeah. If he's going somewhere, he's going to have an established quarterback or somebody that he feels he can groom. It's not going to be, I mean, it would be Kirk Cousins. And then you go, okay, we got Bijan Robinson, we got the running back. We got the pieces to go together.
You sound like Francesa for a second.
I did.
Yeah, for a second. You did.
That's just my indigestion. I guess when I have indigestion, I sound like Mike Francesa. You want to do some jersey trivia?
Yes, I would love to. Yes,
I went first. So I'll read to you this time first because I went. You read to me last time.
Let me find it before. Okay, there it is. Okay.
All right. The jersey trivia. Everybody knows the deal.
Sponsored by Dolan J. Trump. Mike reads off a bunch of clues given by Dolan J. Trump, and I guess the Knicks player.
Before.
I guess the Knicks player, and Mike guesses the Nets player. But we're gonna do the buzzer thing that Mike couldn't understand last episode. I kept saying, "Say the buzzer. Don't say the name because people listening might not might not know, and might need more clues." So.
All right, I'll say the buzzer.
Okay. Go for it.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
I will go first. Here we go. Bringing up my text message. Ugh. He played for 7 years in the NBA, but only one season with the Knicks.
I have no idea.
Okay. You want to use the buzzer?
No, not yet. I'm not done yet. No, I have no idea.
In his one season with the Knicks, he played in 80 games. I mean, so far it's like no, wow. And that's a good clue. And made 9 starts at power forward.
80 games, 9 starts at power forward.
I'm going to add another clue. Well, actually, I won't in case I'm wrong. Never mind.
Okay.
He signed as a free agent in 2015 after stops in Sacramento, Minnesota, and would later go on to have stints at Miami, Cleveland, and the Lakers before his career ended in 2018.
2015.
The good clues are coming up.
2015. And 80 games. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
He was a member of the 2011 All-Rookie team after being a lottery pick of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow, that's tough, man. I'm 1 year, 2015. It's like one of those abyss, kind of.
Yeah, where the Nets are now.
Wait, what were the teams he played for again?
Okay. Well, Minnesota, obviously, he started. He signed as a free agent in 2015 after stops in Sacramento, Minnesota, would later go on to have stints in Miami, Cleveland, and the Lakers.
Oh, I know. I know. Go. Keep going. Well, maybe
Uh,
not. Actually, no, I don't. Go ahead. I thought of somebody. I forgot the power forward point. Okay, go ahead.
He played college ball at the same university as Lauren Woods, Salim Stoudemire, and friend of the show, thank you, Dolan, Richard Jefferson.
Okay.
That's the clue that
So
would help me.
Arizona.
He wore number 23 with the Knicks. Michael Jordan. Okay. We buzzed in earlier, so you have an idea.
I thought Ramon Sessions for a second, but then I remember the power forward point. So that's
Gotcha.
Um,
I think you've had, here's my clue. I'm not positive, but I think he's been a trivia question in the past.
is it Turioff?
It is not.
23. Who the hell was 23? Obviously Camby, but
It's not Marcus Camby. No, incorrect.
No.
He went to UMass, by the way.
Thanks.
No problem.
Zona. Is it Wilcox?
It is not. It's not Solomon.
No, Chris.
Chris. I'm thinking of the
TV
NFL guy. Yeah, who I used to book as a guest and jumped
Isn't
in
that
my brain.
Wilcox? Not Wilcox.
Tired.
I have no idea.
Derek Williams.
Derek Williams. Oh yeah, that wasn't even close.
Can
That was
Dolan give me like a Nets from like 2001 to 4? He gives me 2007 to 12. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, this one I think you'll get. It's a good one though. All right.
All right, let's do
Remember
it.
buzzer, the buzzer. Don't say the name.
Say it out loud. Got it.
Okay. He played 12 seasons in the NBA, but only
Wow.
one of them with the Nets. This is his thing, I guess. You get
I guess
the one and done guy.
This is his thing. Okay,
The one and done.
That's not enough.
Episode.
I mean, if you know the answer after that, you are a sicko. Like if you know the answer
naming
after
all the
that,
guys that played 1 year for the Nets.
Jamie Fike. Okay.
No. In his one season with the Nets, he appeared in 24 games, started 2 of them at center before being waived mid-season.
All right, so he was a center.
Mm.
All right, keep going.
He played his college ball at the same university as Tony Delk, Ron Mercer, Walter McCarty, and Alex's favorite player, Julius Randle.
Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So he was a center. Okay, a Kentucky center that played 1 season with the Nets. All right, now we're building a foundation, Dolan. We've got the bricks.
Remember to buzz. Don't give it away.
I don't know it yet. I'm just talking out loud because that's what I do.
He was a one-time All-Star in 2003 as a member of the New Orleans Hornets.
I got it. Bzz.
Okay.
Was he a net? Hold on. Wait, what year? 2003?
He was an All-Star in 2003 with the Hornets, New Orleans.
I guess
Hornets.
he was a net. Was he a net? I don't remember him as a net.
I think I know who you're thinking of.
But it's not him.
I think I know who you're thinking of, but I don't know if I know who you're thinking of. So I'm just gonna.
Can I text you? Right. Okay. I think
his
I know.
career also featured stops in Charlotte, Milwaukee, Miami, Portland, Dallas, and Toronto.
Like 40% sure, but yeah, I got my guess.
He was drafted 19th overall in the 2000 draft by the aforementioned Hornets.
It's got to be this guy. If it's not, who else could it be? He's an assistant coach too.
He wore number 20 during his time with the Nets.
That I don't remember.
Because he played 24 games. How would you know this guy's number?
All right. Can I guess?
Go for it.
Jamal McGlure.
You got it.
There we go.
Got it. See, I went to David West in my head, and I know he wasn't with the Nets, and I was just like, David West, because I try to guess myself when I read them. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was a good one, man. Good job.
Yeah, well, I remember, where I had an advantage there was I went to every Net Hornets playoff game in 2002, and McGlure was one of their better players. You know, him, Baron Davis, one of their better players. So I assumed that in 03, that was his all-star year. So that kind of helped me. But no, I honestly don't remember him, though, as a Net. But his other clues helped me.
24 games and get waived mid-year 20 years ago.
And what year did he play with the Nets? Did he say?
No, he doesn't say.
So he doesn't give me the year he played with the Nets.
Yeah.
That's a little fucked up.
Yeah, he does this intentionally to trick us up because he knows we know our stuff, I guess.
I guess.
So let me see. McGlure played for the Nets in the 2007-2008 season for
Yeah.
24 games.
Right. And then he was cooked.
He was cooked. He went to Miami the next year, 55 games, started 12, but that was it after that.
I think he was an assistant coach somewhere now.
Yeah, wait, I think he was in
Somewhere.
Serves as the basketball development consultant and community ambassador for the Raptors.
Okay. Okay, the
So
Raptors.
he works for them. He's not like a coach. He's just like
Jamal McGlure. I like Jersey trivia. I'm glad to have it back. Dolan does a very good job with these questions. He does. He
Yes,
does. He does an excellent job.
right.
To give him credit.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of get him back. It'd be fun to have him on and ask him Jersey trivia. But would it be Nets or would it be Knicks?
I don't know.
Because he likes both teams, or used to like the Nets.
Yeah,
and then he quit.
Really quick, it's awful what happened to the Warriors assistant coach.
Oh God,
Dejounte Milovic.
So sad.
46 years old. They're at a team meeting and he collapses with a heart attack. And they've postponed 2 games. And I can't even imagine what the Warriors players are going through. He's been on the team for a couple of years now. Helped them win a championship. Their last one. It's just, and he's an international superstar also. So he mentored Jokic. He mentors like Boban. There was a lot of guys out there that love him, international guys, and it's a really sad thing. So can't imagine that. So
no, it's just the worst. And you hear that, and it definitely gives perspective on all of this. You go through these games and you win, you lose, but at the end of the day, right? Like it's about I'm sure too for the guys, it's about the relationships, the bonds that are created going through these winning and losing streaks. And to have somebody that's a family member essentially pass
so young too. So
I know, it's terrifying.
46, like geez.
No, I think about I hear something like that, Alex, and I think I'm 40. I'm just like,
yeah, I'm 39, man. Yeah, it's just like it's so close.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah. So eat well and
it's just life is so unpredictable with stuff,
really,
which is why I don't blame you. And I will say this to the heavens: don't let any Knick hater be like, "Oh, you just beat the Wizards; they suck." If you get a win, enjoy it.
Yeah,
I sound like stop up because my time is over with winning. So when you get them, take advantage of them. And I always said this too. The Nets, when the Nets had Kyrie Irving and Durant and whatnot, they had wins versus bad teams by a couple of points. It's the NBA. When you get the wins, you get them, you move on.
That's how you fatten up your record, is beat the bad teams,
But it will be all about also true when it's Knicks Cavs first round and you lose game 1, you'll forget about everything. Won't matter.
Yeah. Well, you win more of these games against the bad teams, and you might not have to play on the road in game 1. Maybe you'll play at home in game 1. You know what I mean?
But then too, the Knicks beat the Cavs in game 1 in Cleveland.
Yeah,
they just gotta win.
They won game 5 in Cleveland too. I didn't see
right.
that coming
so
either.
Did it matter?
It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah.
Right. Look at the Heat. They won in the Garden. They took care of business
to the finals. Yeah.
If you're gonna win a championship, you're gonna have to win in the road to the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you're the 1 seed.
Because that's when the series starts, Mike. When the road team wins the
podcast is over.
For any of those old listeners, you get that joke.
Mike hates that.
Mike hates that so much. Anyway.
All right, bad weather fans.
Okay, so to recap, the Nets need to stretch Ben Simmons, and a series doesn't start until the road team wins. And have a nice day.
Bad Weather Fans, episode 204. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Shout out to all our listenership, our friends, our families, and getting kind of corny here. Alex, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, speak for yourself.
All right.
I'm kidding. Okay. Anyway, yes. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your life. Stay positive. Talk to you soon.
Good luck in the snow.
Thank you. Yes, I already put my windshield wipers up on the car. I messed
Why?
it up the other day.
Is there something that works for that?
Because if you leave your windshield wipers
I'm
down,
joking. For the love of shit, I'm joking. Goodbye.
I'm gonna keep explaining it.
I'm hitting stop.